Hi, I am Tonya Thomas, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I do to try to give the students in my class the very best start, beginning from before the semester even starts. So I'm going to walk you through a few points here in this mind map presentation that I have for you, and then I will take you into my Canvas course site and show you a bit more detail about some of the things that I'm going to mention in this outline. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of who I am, here at Wayne, I am not only an instructor, but I'm also a project manager. I am a 2-decade-long instructional designer. I'm a course quality auditor, and I just happen to be also an entrepreneur running my own business. So yes, I am full-time employed at Wayne State, running my own business, and of course, part-time teaching. So a little bit of the background of what it is that I'm going to share with you today. As a course quality auditor, my background has incorporated the Quality Matters rubric, which when I share some of the materials with you at the end of this presentation, you'll have live links to all of the things that I'm speaking about. And as far as the rubric is concerned, for my presentation, I'm speaking about one of the 8 main pillars of the Quality Matters standards. There are, of course, 8 of them that go into covering many other aspects of online course design. But for me specifically, I'm going to be covering what it is that I do to apply the various practices recommended by this first Quality Matters standard for course overview and introduction. And so there are 9 different recommendations that come with this particular standard. So I'm just going to pop them all up for you to see. Again, you don't have to try and read them all now as I'm going through this, but mainly you are to kind of understand that there are 9 different standards, and I try to use each one of them, apply each one of them in the design of the first module of my course. So the way that I apply them, as I can kind of get through the talking points quickly so I can actually show you how I apply some of this stuff. There is, of course, the offering of the syllabus that I try to make sure is in this course intro module and not just my week 1 module. My course intro module stands alone outside of all of the weekly scheduled material that I have in class, and you'll see that once you get into my course. I also include a getting started module, and this getting started module I'll go into a little more deeply. One of Quality Matters' tenets is not just putting out the information, the basic information about the class, but actually helping your students to know how to navigate through your class and what is expected and what they can expect from the class and from you and what you expect of them. I obviously also include an instructor introduction, and I have one prepared for the synchronous teaching of this class as well as an asynchronous teaching of the class. I have learned that they have to be different because I teach differently depending on whether the class is taught and delivered synchronously or asynchronously. I also make available a few pre-course surveys, some that are beneficial for me in getting to know my audience of students, but then also in helping them to kind of get to know themselves and level set on the knowledge that they're bringing into the class so that they can form a baseline for what they're going to learn over the course of the semester and be able to gauge how much they've actually picked up throughout the semester. And then after that, I'll include some links to accessory sites. For me, that includes a link to the Microsoft Teams site, which I'll talk about a little bit more briefly. And then I give them some basic information on when they can expect the course material to actually appear when the semester starts, because again, this course intro module I'm offering early before the semester even begins. And then I make sure that they know that there is a prerequisite requirement for accessing each module, so that it's very clear to them that they have to do some things first in each module before they get access to the next one. And so again, all of these things I am building into this course intro module, and I'm publishing this module 1 or 2 weeks ahead of the semester. And that seems to help a great deal with the uncertainty that students have with regard to finding out who the instructor is. What is the instructor's background? What sort of expertise is the instructor going to offer me? What books do I need? What other purchases do I need to make? Obviously, being able to know exactly what the resources are and the syllabus, but then knowing how to get started and knowing how to level set and get ready for the semester, so that on week 1, day 1, they are fully prepared to start mastering the material. The other thing that I want to talk about too, and I'll go into this when I go into my course module, is the fact that I do a mid-course check-in. So I'm going to pop up the questions for this survey that I do, just really quickly. Again, you don't have to read all of these questions as they're appearing. It's going to continue to get smaller and smaller, but you'll have access to these questions, and I'll show you the survey and what it looks like and how I incorporate it into my semester as I go through. All right. So let me show you a little bit around my course information module, and you can see a little bit more detail of what it is that I'm going to introduce here. So in my presentation, if I go to my course site, you'll see that my course is divided up into modules. And I've got not only modules 1 through, a module for every week of my class, with the prerequisite restrictions that let them know what they have to complete in order to get access to the next one. But then there's also this course information module. And then another little hint too, a little tip for you. I keep an Instructor Utility Box in every course that I teach. And this Instructor Utility Box just keeps handy a lot of edit links to things, handy links of things that I might want to move down into my class a little bit later on down the road. From semester to semester, it helps me to keep things handy as I change out what I do differently each semester. But here's the course information module, and this is what they see a week or 2 ahead of time before the semester even starts. So here I include the syllabus that I spoke of, and I include in this module a link to a Google Doc syllabus. And this link actually dynamically produces a PDF that they download and can have record of. And because my syllabus is a Google Doc, it means I can easily edit it on the fly whenever it needs to change. And anytime someone comes to this link to view or download the syllabus, they're always getting the latest and greatest version of that syllabus. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to have my syllabus as a living document. I'm going to go to my toolbox where I keep an edit link for my syllabus, just to show you. And I'm actually going to click this link to bust it out into its own tab. So this is my syllabus in Google Doc form. And so I can be changing it whenever I need to. And I don't have to be concerned with downloading it, saving it, converting it to PDF, then uploading it to my Canvas site, and then every time I have to change it, I've got to go through that rigmarole all over again. Here I can just maintain my syllabus here and know that because of the automatic PDF link that I'm offering my students, that I don't have to worry about downloading, saving, converting that document, uploading it to Canvas now as a separate PDF. I can just maintain one Google Doc and know that this link is always going to generate a PDF for them dynamically on the fly. Here is the link to the How to Get Started walkthrough that I give them. This is the About the Instructor that I'm going to show you in just a little bit. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start popping out these links into additional tabs so I can walk you through them. If I click this now, it's going to generate a PDF. So if I move me up a little bit here, you'll see as I click that, the windows start to churn. And shortly down below, you'll see it's downloaded a PDF. I'll click that and it opens in my browser. So this is something that they can save, that they can print, and it's always the latest version because it's pulling dynamically from my living Google Doc. I'll go back to my modules here and start walking you through some of my other pages. So I'll click to put How to Get Started in another tab, my About the Instructor page, and then my various surveys that I make available. And then there's another survey page that I have going there. I'm just popping all these out into tabs that I can just walk you through in a minute. The last few links that I have here are really just informational links and then links to the accessory site that I spoke of. So here I keep handy a link to the Microsoft Teams site that I also run in conjunction with this Canvas course site. For an online class, particularly this semester when it was decided that it was going to be taught asynchronously, I wanted to make sure to provide my students with a community space that would keep us together, kind of sequestered in our own space where we can message each other, casually get together. Teams is also the way that I use the way that I do my office hours. It is also the way that I have students message me in an emergency or me them. It allows us to do instant messaging with each other without having to everybody share their personal cell phone numbers directly with people, so it kind of maintains their privacy. And it also allows space for them to casually collaborate on materials if they want to, just like in the real world, if face-to-face courses, they may have sought each other out for study buddies or study groups and met in the library study spaces. Here in an online class, having a Microsoft Teams space that allows them to do that in a space that is sort of dedicated to our class and its membership is a really easy way to do that. And so that's a whole different talk that I could certainly give, or information I could share with people. And then these are just banner notices that they would see once they've gone through all of these links in this course intro module, and it's the only thing that they see. They would see also that some of these things aren't live, and this lets them know they can expect to see those things come live on the first day of the semester, and that they have to walk through each module's requirements before they get access to the next module. So we walked through the syllabus, my How to Get Started page. My How to Get Started page I have created as a bit of H5P that allows me to create a slightly more interesting page with a lot of content that doesn't look overwhelming at first. If I were to just publish this all flatly within the body of the page, it might get lost. It might look daunting at first when they come to view it. But here they can interact with the page and get a little bit of information on, how they should be acclimating themselves to the course. So getting to know the syllabus, knowing exactly where to find the course schedule, and then to start looking for milestones in the Canvas app by using the Canvas course calendar and their to-do list, where they can learn more about me. If they're new to using Canvas, which many folks come to my class and they are, because Canvas is not something that is universally used on campus for every single online class. We have we've developed, as a university, we've developed a beginner Canvas course to familiarize students with the functions of Canvas and how to use it. So I link them to that particular course that they can jump into really quick, walk through, and then come back to my course. I let them know how they should stay informed, how I expect them to stay informed about what's going on in the class, with the fact that I do heavily use announcements, with the recommendation that they pay attention to their Wayne email at least once a day, checking information in the team space, because I do throw some casual gems out in for casual conversation. Nothing goes on in the team space that is ever graded. So I make sure that they're very clear about that too, that our team space is for community and socializing. I make it really clear for them where to go to find the information that about what constitutes course participation. And this is, we have a page on our website that actually talks about this, so that they know, even though it's an asynchronous class, they know exactly what it is I'm expecting from them, so that I can verify that they're actually attending the class. And then I go about letting them know, that I expect them to be active in the course, and that, what they're going to get out of the course really depends on what they put into the course. And then very lastly, I let them know, after they've gone through acclimating with this information, what should their next step be to really start jumping into the material. Back in the course information module, they actually get to know a little bit about me. And so that's what this page looks like. And again, rather than just making it a boring bio page, I've made it something somewhat interactive for them to go through. And again, all of this information would have been probably overwhelming for them to see if it were just all flatly added to the body of the page. Here, I've made it interactive, and they can sort of work through it in chunks and pieces with my experience. Since the course does hinge on this course is for creative students to be able to create an online portfolio for their creative work. And in so much as that is true, I try to make it available to them where they can learn a little bit more about me online and actually look at my online portfolio as well. And I go through, what my credentials are so that they know they're in good hands, what my past education is, and what some of my other more personal stuff is, so that we're bonding and forming a relationship as student and instructor, and they see me as a person who has had some pursuits of my own. The next thing that they come to because these video introductions, both synchronous and asynchronous, I have unpublished for this semester. I've unpublished them now after the semester has started, but I do have one prepared separately, one for asynchronous and one for synchronous. The next thing that they would actually see that is published for them is the Online Student Technology Capabilities Survey. And so this is just a simple Microsoft Forms survey that asks some very basic questions. What we have come to know that we have to be sensitive of in this during the pandemic of forcing everybody to online classes is getting to know our students and what their capabilities actually are. And so knowing what kind of technology they're dealing with, what limitations they might have in terms of data plans and internet service. Asking them these questions ahead of time before the semester even starts really allows me to be mindful of what content I'm including in the semester, and making sure that I'm sort of, for lack of a better phrase, catering to the least common denominator, so that no matter what the struggles may be for a student, that they're getting the material that they need in a way that they can easily consume. The next thing that they would see walking through this course information module would be the poll that I do about their prior experience. And so if I open that up, which doesn't look like I did that just yet. I did that twice. I will open that page up. And what that does is it takes them to a page that tells them a little bit about the poll, and it gives them a couple of different ways of participating in the poll. They can click the web link to go to the survey, or they can do it on their phone simply by holding their phone up to the screen, to this QR code, and fulfilling the survey right there on their screens. And when they're doing that, they can also scroll down and sort of watch the results live. Because this semester, this course is in a synchronous class, we don't have a live session where everybody is voting at the same time and people are seeing the results. But the tool that I use, Mentimeter, allows them, even in an asynchronous way, to take this survey and then come down to the results and see how people are sort of rating and where they fall on the scale. And so I have found that sort of begins to, very early on, build a sense of community with students around the fact that, there are some of us who have some experience and there are many of us who usually do not. And so if I click this web link just to kind of show you what the Mentimeter survey looks like, this is how they could easily vote in the web browser. It looks very similar on the mobile phone if they scan the QR code. And they can just interactively do the voting like that and then submit their vote. For those of you who are familiar with things like Poll Everywhere, Mentimeter is something that is similar. It does allow you to create a free account that allows you to create unlimited numbers of polls, but those polls for the free account can only have 2 screens. It's kind of like PowerPoint where they put slides together. And there are some template slides, and then you can create some of your own. You can customize the questions however you like. Usually if I have a set of questions that is more than two questions long, I'll just create multiple polls and max out each poll with the 2 slides that I get for each one. This is really handy because I could just really keep it simple for them and then publish something really simple for them to be able to see in a colorful sort of way. So that is the basics of how I make a winning course introduction module that I can sustain from semester to semester and make available every semester a week or 2 ahead of time, so that a lot of the stuff they've walked through and they've gotten familiar with, and they're able to get a sense of me, who I am, what I do, what to expect in the course, how the course is structured, the kinds of activities that they can expect to participate in, and what they can expect from me and what I am going to be expecting from them. They get a sense of all that well before the semester starts, so that when the semester does start, they jump immediately into starting with Module 1, actual subject matter material, have figured out how to navigate my course already. And I try to keep that, a word about that, I try to keep that standard for all of my classes. Not just every semester that I teach this course, but I try to keep this practice standard across every course that I teach here at Wayne. I teach in the College of Creative, Fine Performing and Communication Arts, but then I also teach at the Mike Ilitch School of Business. And so I try to adopt this practice and keep it standard across all of my courses so that folks are familiar when they come to my class. They already have a sense of what to expect from the courses. And navigating the course is not a surprise. And that way they know when the semester starts, they can hit the ground running, beginning to immediately master the subject matter material. And that is something as a course auditor that I am really big about trying to advocate for and evangelize in all the areas that I can, is for us to consider giving information to our students earlier in the semester before it even starts, and trying to make uniform how we present our courses, not just the ones that we teach, but maybe getting together as a department, getting together as a university, and thinking about how we present our course navigation, our quality components, things like that, in a standard sort of way, so that students can fuss a lot less with having to figure out how and where and who before they actually even touch any of the material. Well, thank you for listening. I appreciate that you were here. to look over this information with me. Again, I will provide a copy of my presentation along with the outline. There is an outline view of my, I'll just pull it up here for you to see. There is an outline view and an interactive way that I can share with you the questions that I use for my survey and the various quality matters, rubric standards, all of the things that I walked you through in the mind map earlier. I'll be sharing links to all of those things with interactive links that I've incorporated in those talking points for you to be able to use yourself. So again, I am Tonya Thomas, helping you to give your students the very best start at the beginning of the semester. And I hope this has been helpful for you.